Dr. Mario Salinas, myself, David Torres, board member, and to my left, Javier Salinas, board member in attendance. We do have a quorum. Number 2, certification of public notice.
I certify that the notice was posted as required by the Texas Open Meetings Act.
Okay, number 3, I think I'd like to go to closed session just so that we can, we have a board member here who wasn't here previously, and so I'll entertain a motion to go to closed session real quick and come back out.
So moved. Second.
Motion second on the floor. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Post same sign. Motion carries. We're going to go to closed session just for a few minutes. Thank you. You want the meeting open, right? You requesting open?
Yes.
We're going to come right back out.
Okay.
We're going to discuss it. A motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Post same sign. Motion carries. For the record, no action was taken in executive session at this point. Just for information, Ms. Dominga Vela is no longer part of the quorum. She has left. And in attendance, we have, who we're glad he showed up, Mr. School Board Member Dr. Louis Alamia. We are in open session. Do I need to call A, or you're going to take over, sir?
Yes, under B, proposed term hearing, or proposed term contract, non-renewal hearing.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Ivan Perez with the law firm of Jones Galligan, Ken Lozano, and today I'll be acting as the presiding officer at the request of the board president and also legal advisor to the board. It's my understanding that the employee wishes to have this non-renewal hearing in open session. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Therefore, this hearing will be open to the public in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. This proposed hearing, or this hearing on the proposed non-renewal of Yolanda Hinojosa will come to order. The hearing is being held pursuant to a notice of proposed non-renewal approved by the Edinburgh School Board. The notice of proposed non-renewal was timely served on Ms. Hinojosa. Ms. Hinojosa timely requested an appeal or a hearing before the board, and by agreement of the parties, this hearing is being held today in the open session. The following board members are present for the hearing. Mr. Luis G. Alamia, Secretary and Place 4 Trustee. Mr. Javier Salinas, Vice President and Place 5 Trustee. Ms. Carmen Gonzalez, Place 6 Trustee, Vice President. And President Mr. David Torres, Place 7 Trustee. Also present is Dr. Mario Salinas. Will the administration's representative please state your name and whether or not you are a licensed attorney?
Eric Rose, on behalf of the administration, I'm a Texas licensed attorney.
Okay. Will the representative for the employee please state your name and whether or not you are a licensed attorney?
Regina Reggie Richardson, and I am a licensed attorney, and I am also here with an AFT representative, Ms. Marcia Gonzalez. She is not a licensed attorney.
Okay. I will now ask each member of the board whether he or she is able to serve as an impartial member of this hearing body and to arrive at a decision based solely upon the evidence presented at this hearing. Any member not able to act in such manner may say so and may be asked to be excused. Mr. Alamia?
Yes, sir. Board member Luis Alamia, and I am able to make a decision without any disturbance. Or
Okay.
anything.
Mr. Salinas?
Yes.
Sir, I'm able to make a decision.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir, I am too.
Mr. Torres?
Yes.
Okay, I will now instruct the parties on the procedures to be followed in this hearing. Each side will be afforded 5 minutes during which to make opening statements. Administration will present first and the employee will present second. The district administration will have up to 30 minutes to present its position. The employee will then have 30 minutes to present her case or otherwise oppose the proposed non-renewal. The district administration may use part of its time allotment to present rebuttal evidence. Cross-examination of the opposing party's witnesses will be allowed. However, cross-examination time will count against the time allotment of the questioner. After the close of the evidence, each side will be afforded 5 minutes during which to make final arguments. Administration will present first and may save a portion of its time for rebuttal. The employee will present second and may likewise save a portion of her time for rebuttal. Board members sit as a panel of judges and are to remain impartial. Board members will not be questioned by representatives or witnesses. The rules for this hearing are as follows. Only one person talks at a time, no interruptions. Objections will be addressed to me for my decision. The representatives are not to argue directly with one another. and the hearing participants should conduct themselves with common courtesy and respect for the rights of others. Are there any questions regarding the hearing procedure by the administration? By the employee?
No, sir.
Okay. Just for housekeeping purposes, are there any documents that have been exchanged that you intend to present as evidence that we can admit at this time?
Yeah, I believe in speaking to opposing counsel, I've turned over administration's exhibits. I believe there's no objection. I have no objections to her exhibits, so I believe they'll be duly admitted.
Ms. Richardson?
That is correct. I do have possibly 2 exhibits, and I don't believe that there'll be any objection.
No objection either.
Okay, as far as the evidence that you all have exchanged and already conferred on, that evidence will be deemed admitted for purposes of this hearing. Just make sure that the court reporter gets a copy of your evidence before you leave today.
Yes.
Okay? All right, now we'll move on to opening statements. Administration, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. President, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Salinas, members of the board, my name is Eric Flores. I have the distinguished privilege alongside Alyssa Aleman to represent administration this afternoon. We're here not to question or to undermine the dedication of our retire, rehire teachers at any moment. In fact, on behalf of the administration, you will not hear a sliver of that. What we will talk about today, though, is a uniform policy that this district has made for several reasons. One of those reasons is, of course, being fiscal stewards of our budget during a particular time. The TEA regulations that are set forth upon the school district. This policy, specifically DFBB local and legal, they do not take into consideration experience. They do not take into consideration qualifications. They do not take into consideration sex, race, or gender, or any other, therefore, protected class. Therefore, this policy was set due to some program changes, and it was set for a particular reason, and it is being fairly applied to all those members who are qualified in that class. The administration will put forth evidence this afternoon to show just that this policy is set uniformly, and it doesn't take into consideration several things. Again, today's proposed non-renewal is neither personal nor it's punitive. It's entirely consistent with a policy that the district has chosen to initiate. After careful review, the administration determined that the non-renewal of this particular retire-rehire position best serves the educational program and fiscal steward of Edinburgh CISD. On behalf of the administration and after the evidence is presented to the board, we are confident and we ask that administration's decision to non-renew is affirmed. Thank you.
Okay, the employee now has 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, and I want to apologize in advance that just because of my seating, I cannot see Board Member Salinas, so I apologize, and I'm in no way dismissing Trustee Salinas. Good afternoon, Board, and thank you for the opportunity on behalf of myself and of my client, Ms. Hinojosa. While we carry what your jobs are as elected officials and stewards of the Edinburgh School District very seriously, and also of our superintendent very seriously, that does carry with it a tremendous responsibility, and that is to provide the highest level of education possible for our students, and that's never been more important than today. And being that is one of the responsibilities of the board and of our parents and of our teachers, we would ask that you reconsider based on that first. But also, we do take some issue and disagree a little bit with what was presented in opening by counsel, in that And, you know, they're actions that we think can be corrected very easily, and in no way is this a comment on whether the board acted in any way deliberately, maliciously, or to target deliberately any class of people. There was action that was taken by the board wherein retirees were placed on a list that puts them on par with actions that include insubordination or discipline problems in the classroom, and they were placed on a list that include those things. And they are identified as retirees alone, as people that retired from the school district. And in order to be retired, as you know, it is a formula that is a total of a number that includes the years of experience that you have along with your age. And as you know, that age by definition would fall under a protected class, the formula that applies to this district. And the only thing that I would add to that is that that can be corrected by this board. You have the authority and you have the ability, and I would ask that you take that and put that into action in reconsidering whether it's a financial consideration. You can still reach some type of result that is the same, but certainly in a manner that doesn't put a specific class of teachers on par and on the same list as teachers that maybe for cause should be addressed by non-renewal. In addition to that, certainly I know that some of you have had students, whether they're your children, and not to age anybody, but some grandchildren that have been taught by some of the few teachers that are still seeking one more year to teach. And even if you're looking at economics as a reason, again, you can certainly do that in a different manner where we're not placing retirees on a list along with people who may need addressing by non-renewals because of some egregious act that they've committed that might put our students at risk and put some kind of smear or darkness on this incredible school district that has been placed in your care. So respectfully, I do ask that you reconsider your decision to non-renew Ms. Hinojosa's contract. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, the district administration may now present its evidence.
Thank you. Administration calls Mr. Mark McAuliffe.
Can we get
Swear in.
Can we get Mr. McAuliffe sworn in, please?
Mr. McAuliffe, you state your full name for the record, please,
Mark S. McAuliffe,
and you spell your last name for the record.
MICALLEF.
Mr. McAuliffe, in your position here at ECISD is what, sir?
Director of Personnel.
And how long have you been in this position?
2 years.
Okay. And I'm going to hand you over a folder here just so that you can kind of follow along with me. And Mr. McAuliffe, if you could go ahead and open up the blue folder to tab number 2. All Are you familiar with DFBB legal?
Yes.
This is a board policy.
Yes, it is.
It's one enacted by the school district.
Yes.
Okay. So DFBB legal, what exactly does it set out in regard to non-renewals?
This is term contract non-renewals. The board will establish policies and reasons for non-renewal.
Okay. More than anything, does it set out the notice requirements to initiate the non-renewal?
Yes.
Okay. And you do see the notice provision on the front page, is that
Yes.
correct?
No later than the 10th day before the last day of instruction.
Okay. And you are familiar with Ms. Hinojosa, who sits here today for non-renewal?
Yes.
Okay. And you're familiar with this particular non-renewal?
Yes.
Okay. So pursuant to DFBB legal, did she receive the appropriate legal notice?
Yes.
And that would have been no later than the 10th day before the last day of instruction?
Correct.
And what was the means of that communication?
The communication was set out for hand delivery and delivery by express mail.
Okay. And she did receive it, is that correct?
Correct.
And she also timely filed her appeal, which would be why we're here today.
Correct.
There was also a board meeting, or was there a board meeting in regard to the first decision for the non-renewal?
Yes, there was.
Okay. And 1 second here. And that would have been, if you open up to tab 4.
Okay.
What would have been the date for that particular board meeting?
May 21st, 2025.
And do you see her on this agenda?
Yes.
And just for the record, what provision is that?
4.87.
All right. Now, there was also minutes procured for this particular board meeting. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that can be found if you open to page 5,
Okay.
or tab 5, excuse me. Now, do the minutes of that agenda appropriately reflect the decision the board took on May 21st, 2025?
Yes.
And given the questions that I've just asked you, Mr. McAuliffe, in regards to DFBB legal, were all the elements met for that provision?
Yes.
Okay. So now we'll turn to tab 3.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this policy?
Yes.
And which policy is this?
DFBB local.
And it pertains to?
The reasons for recommendation for decisions to non-renew.
Okay. Could you read the first sentence of the reasons for this policy?
The recommendation to the board and its decision not to renew a contract under this policy shall not be based on an employee's exercise of constitutional rights or based unlawfully on an employee's race, color, religion, sex, gender, national origin, age, disability, or any other basis prohibited by law.
Okay. And the basis for this non-renewal would have been out of the 35 identifying reasons, reasons for proposed non-renewal of an employee's term contract shall be, there is enumerated 1 through 35 for Ms. Hinojosa, which would have pertained to her, Mr. McAuliffe?
On this policy, it would be item 31, being an employee who has retired from the teacher retirement system of Texas.
Okay. And now, given that we are now focusing on 31, being an employee who is retired from the Texas, or excuse me, who is retired from the teacher retirement system of Texas, would Ms. Hinojosa qualify under this provision?
Yes.
And can you explain to members of the board why?
Ms. Hinojosa had retired from the teacher retirement system of Texas and was rehired by Edinburgh CISD.
Okay. Now, in regards to this policy, would it have come to surprise to any of the employees that this was coming?
It should not have.
Okay, and you say that why?
The previous year, a notice of program change had occurred, and each of the individuals had received notice of that program change.
Okay, and in regard to the program change, once the program change was actually initiated, did the district give an additional year, 3 years, what, before it became a bright line?
Gave one extra year.
Okay, so it wasn't initiated right then and there is what I'm saying.
Correct.
Okay. And now, when the program change came into effect, it was explained to them via letter?
Yes.
Okay, and they received that letter?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this policy sets out certain individuals, is that correct? How many, I guess, employees of ECISD would this policy would have pertained to?
Initially, it would have been about 16 to 20 individuals.
Okay, and since the initiation of this policy, has it been applied equally to each of those individuals? And let's just say, let's approximate for ballpark numbers here. Has it been fair? Has it been uniformly applied to 20 members of ECISD?
Yes.
There have been no exceptions in any of those other cases.
No exceptions.
If they were a rehire from the Texas retirement system, it impacted them. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did it consider performance,
No.
evaluations,
No.
sex,
No.
race,
No.
gender,
No.
age,
No.
testing scores,
No.
anything at all,
None. Nothing else.
other than that clause being under DFBB local, which is number 31?
Correct.
Okay. Now, if we look at DFBB local again, there is one provision there, with recommendations from administration to the superintendent. Are you familiar with those provisions?
Yes.
Okay, and looking at these provisions, was a list generated or, if any, documentation prepared and given to the superintendent?
The list of the retirees was provided.
Okay, and then of course at some point you did notify Dr. Salinas, which I'm sure he's also aware about, DFBB local and legal, is that correct?
Correct.
And at that time you had made the determination that this non-renewal was moving forward because it was pursuant to those two policies?
Correct.
And you assured you were sure of that?
Yes.
Okay, no further questions.
Okay. Any cross-examination?
Yes.
You
Thank
may
you.
begin.
Mr. McAuliffe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What is the formula for determining eligibility to retire under the teacher retirement system?
The formula as far as,
For eligibility to retire under the teacher retirement system?
well, and anybody can retire at any time from the teacher retirement system. The standard procedure would be at 2.3% per year.
Okay, and are you familiar with number of years of experience and age?
The rules of 80 and the rules of 90, yes.
And what is the rule of 80 and what is the rule of 90?
Years experience plus years of service equaling 80 or equaling 90.
I'm sorry, the rules of service and
And the age.
Okay,
Yes.
so age is in that calculation, correct?
And that's in TRS's calculation, yes.
Right, and TRS is the retirement system used by Edinburgh School District, correct?
Just by the state, yes.
Well, that's why it actually refers to it in the rules, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, being that age is in that calculation, it would be near impossible to be under the age of 40 and be eligible to avail yourself of retirement benefits. Isn't that correct?
To the best of my knowledge, it would be correct.
Okay, thank you. And also, being an employee who's retired is number 31 on that list, right?
Yes.
What is number 30?
Failure to maintain licensing and certification requirements, including the completion of required continuing education hours for employee assignments.
What is number 33?
Any attempt to encourage or coerce a child to withhold information from the child's parent or other district personnel.
And what is number 34?
Any reason that makes an employment relationship void or voidable, such as violation of federal, state, or local law.
And number 31, being a retired teacher, you would agree with me, is not in any way reflective of the violations that you've read, correct?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
Can you please answer the question?
They are all different.
Would you agree with me that number 31 is in no way reflective of number 30?
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled.
Please answer the question.
It's different than number 30, yes.
Would you agree that it is different from number 32?
Yes, they are all different.
Thank you. And you're familiar with the fact that there were some retire-rehire teachers that accepted a substantial reduction in pay to continue teaching, correct?
Correct.
As an HR supervisor?
Yes.
And you are also aware that to continue teaching, that these retire-rehirees would continue to accept that pay reduction. You're aware of that, correct?
Correct.
I have no other questions.
Mr. Flores, any redirect?
Mr. McAuliffe, looking at the policy number 31, does it mention anything about a formula there? I may have read it too fast. Can you look at it just a quick glance?
Yes.
Does it talk about a formula?
There's no formula mentioned.
Okay. Now, when this policy was adopted, did that even come up?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. And let's go back to the reduction in pay. Did they have notice about that?
Yes.
And so let's talk about that a little bit. So when teachers were forced to take a reduction in pay, why did the district decide to do that?
To my knowledge, it was to be stewards of our financial assets.
Right, because so if you come out of retire, rehire, essentially what happens to the district? What's the financial implication is what I'm asking?
That we will continue paying the individual as a retire, rehire.
Correct. It's also known as what? There is a particular provision. Are you familiar with that? What I'm looking at? What I'm thinking?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
What's the? We'll strike that. We'll move on. Okay, so give me the reasoning as to why there was a policy change and why there was a cap, Mr. McAuliffe.
There was a program change initially last year to put a cap on a 10-year cap on retire, rehire.
Was it costing the district more money?
Yes, it was.
Okay. The policy didn't consider age in that adoption, did it?
No.
No further questions.
Any additional cross?
Just a couple of questions, if I may, Mr. Counsel. Mr. McAuliffe, as an HR professional in a school district, you're familiar with wisdom coming with experience in many cases, correct?
Excuse me?
You're familiar with wisdom coming along with experience. Am I correct in saying that?
We would hope that experience and wisdom
And in the teaching profession, would you agree with me that experienced teachers can provide mentorship to younger teachers?
They can.
And in fact, in many cases, they do. Would you agree?
Yes.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Pass the witness. Excuse me.
Okay. Do you have any other witnesses, Mr. Flores?
No further witnesses on behalf of administration. Administration rests.
Okay. Ms. Richardson, you may now begin your evidence.
Actually, I'm just going to call Ms. Marcia Gonzalez,
Okay.
if she can be sworn in.
Yes.
I don't know if this mic is on. Ms. Gonzalez, I know this board is familiar with you, but can you state your name, please?
Marcia Gonzalez. I'm the president of Edinburgh AFT. I'm also the union grievance handler, the trained union grievance handler.
Thank you. You're familiar with an action that was taken by the board on or about August of 2024, is that right?
That's correct. On 8/13/24, the board approved a edit to local policy DFBB.
And that, and if you would, I know it's hard, but just to answer my question, and in fact, the item that we're referring to is number 31, and that item was added to a list of reasons to non-renew term contract employees. Is that right?
That is correct.
And that item is for those who have retired from the Texas retirement system, and it says nothing more or less than that. Is that right?
That is correct.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
Mr. Flores?
I have no questions for Ms. Gonzalez. Thank you.
Okay.
Witness may be excused.
Okay. You may be excused, Ms. Gonzalez, from the witness stand. Call your next witness.
I would actually call Mr. McAuliffe.
Okay.
Mr. McAuliffe, as HR director, are you aware of any grievances or any complaints that were brought to your desk in your tenure about Ms. Yolanda Hinojosa as a teacher?
Not that I'm aware of.
If there were any such complaints of an egregious nature, would they have been brought to your attention, however the hierarchy is in your office? If they were egregious enough, would they have been brought to your attention?
Yes.
No further questions.
Mr. Flores, any cross?
No cross.
Okay, Mr. Califf, you're
close.
excused from the witness stand. You can call your next witness.
I close, Mr. Pettis.
Okay. Mr. Flores, do you wish to present any rebuttal evidence?
No, Mr. Pettis.
Okay. All right. At this time, we'll proceed to closing arguments. District Administration, you have 5 minutes. Would you care to reserve any of your time?
I will do a 3 and 2.
Very good. You may begin.
Mr. President, Dr. Salinas, members of the board, at the outset of this, I made a pretty clear opening statement. This is based solely on policy. Policy is black and white. There is no in-between. There is no gray areas, right? The policy reads as such. A provision under 31 of DFBB legal and local, specifically 31 applies to the local policy, which this board took an approach to be fiscal stewards of the district, and given the time frame and the situations that this district is facing, you all enacted that. You all enacted it pursuant to the guidelines of the law, and it lawfully stands. It's not been challenged since it has been, so it lawfully stands. As opposing counsel would like to point out about performance issues, at the beginning of this, I said there was none. Matter of fact, we commend Ms. Hinojosa's dedication to the district. We appreciate for her years of teaching and for everything that she's done for each of the students who she has come across. However, this policy is applied uniformly. That means from A to Z or 0 to 100, there are no other considerations listed in this policy. We don't talk about performance evaluations. We don't talk about duties. We don't talk about responsibilities. We don't talk about age, sex, gender, or any other political protected class. This policy applies to everybody. It has been applied uniformly. As the evidence shows, everything has been pursuant to the policy. Therefore, administration stands with this board as it did in its previous decision, and we would ask for this board to affirm that decision. Thank you.
Okay, you used less than 3 minutes, by the way. Okay, Ms. Richardson, you have 5 minutes. Would you care to reserve any of that time?
Given how eloquent Mr. Flores is, a minute. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Board and Dr. Salinas, for the opportunity to be here and to have allow for my client and the other teachers to have a voice before you. This is an issue of such importance for the public and for our students while public education is still being funded and available to our students. What council has made clear is that Ms. Hinojosa doesn't fall under any other item but number 31, which is that she retired, and she is a retiree. And as such, the board is aware that being a retiree, you have to be at least 40 years old under the formula that every board member would be aware of. And as such, that is a protected class. And again, it may not have been something that when the board took action, it may have been in the vein and in the spirit of fiscally trying to be responsible as stewards of the funds and the monies and being responsible to the community. And I know that this board cares also about how important it is to have the mentorship and the experience of teachers, which is why there was a retire rehire program in the first place. And retired teachers who come back contribute so much that is unquantifiable. You can't measure how much they give to not only other teachers, but to young administrators and to the students as well. In this particular situation, the way that the action was taken and the way that that item is listed and where it sits among other items that are actionable legitimately with regard to putting students in danger and the use of substances and being careless and bad evaluations and all of those things, we agree would call for non-renewal or some kind of action to be taken by administration and by the board. And I truly believe, knowing some trustees of this board, that it wasn't meant to put otherwise wonderful teachers in the same category as people who would commit egregious acts that would require that kind of action. and that can be corrected by this board. And I want to add that at least in the case of Ms. Hinojosa, that all she is asking for is to continue contributing to this district and to the students of this district for one more year. And I will add to that, that to put to rest for the board that she would be willing to agree that that would be in writing for this purpose as to her, that she would agree that a resignation would be tendered as of the end of this academic year of 25-26. And you can take that into consideration, and I would ask that you do that. She can contribute her vast experience of over 50 years.
That's 4 minutes.
45 of which have been spent in Edinburgh. And with that, I reserve my last 57 seconds.
Thank you. Mr. Flores?
When governmental entities adopt policy, they are first read by what is called plain meaning. We look at the words and we execute and apply policies in the plain meaning. We consider nothing else. What is being brought to you today is what is typically known as a facial challenge, right? Which means that as the law sits, we should consider, or as this policy sits, that we should consider outside things to be brought into this policy. This isn't the appropriate venue for that. There may be an appropriate venue for that if someone so chooses to decide. But as we read the policy today, we apply the plain meaning. That is how, as policymakers, you all adopt policy. Given that we are doing that we are looking at the plain meaning of this policy, again, on behalf of administration, I would reiterate my previous points to this board. We have done just such. On behalf of administration, I ask that you reaffirm the non-renewal. Thank you.
Ms. Richardson?
I would actually propose to this board that a corrective measure to be taken now may actually preserve the coffers, the public coffers, at this time, and that any contract, as council is aware, is always construed against the drafter. And if it was an unintended consequence of what was a well-intended measure, then the board can certainly fix that. And it can fix that now to not just do right by a teacher that wants to contribute and serve one more year, but also to show good faith and certainly never wanting to put otherwise good teachers on par with those who may not warrant that same consideration. Thank you.
Okay, I will now instruct the board members regarding the procedure for reaching a decision in this case. The board will consider the record made of the hearing, the exhibits entered, all the arguments of the parties. The board may take action and enter such order as it deems lawful and appropriate. The board will now recess in private to ask questions, if any, to receive legal advice, and to discuss the arguments and evidence presented. Throughout its discussions, the board will consider only the specific reasons for proposed non-renewal and the evidence and arguments presented at this hearing. It will not consider rumors or other statements that may have been heard outside of this hearing room. And so now at this time, the board will convene to a closed session for deliberation.
I'll entertain a motion for that closed session. Motion on the floor. Second. Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Hold same sign. Motion carries. We'll be in closed session. are you ready? You okay, ma'am? You ready? You ready to go? Okay. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to return into open session.
Second.
Okay, motion on the floor, second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Post same sign. Motion carries. In open session, item A, Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, Personnel Matters, consideration of and possible action regarding proposed term contract non-renewal. Ms. Yolanda Hinojosa.
Mr. President, I move to non-renew the term contract of Yolanda Hinojosa effective the end of the 2024-2025 contract term as recommended by the administration based on ECISD policy DFBB.
Okay, motion on the floor.
I second that based on our policy.
There's a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Post same sign. Motion carries. Number 5, adjournment. I entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Motion second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Post same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.